Well, welcome back to another segment of Tikva Productions. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is healing. And it's near and dear to my heart because of what's happened to me. For those of you who don't know me, since I was 46, I have survived 2 heart attacks. One of them was a widowmaker, 3 strokes, AML leukemia. I had to go through chemo, a bone marrow transplant, not fun, and I had pneumonia 12 times. Well, the good news is I'm now 61 and I'm doing great. But I want to tell you that for the years after the bone marrow transplant and the whole treatment that I had to go through, I went back and forth to Moffitt Cancer Center here in Tampa several times a week. My wife, Jackie, wondered if she was ever going to get her husband back. She was told 6 times that I wasn't going to make it. She watched me deteriorate from a vibrant and active partner in her life to literally seeing me just looking out the window, drooling all over myself for hours. And when I did talk, I often repeated the same question over and over. And my hands shook like I had Parkinson's, and they didn't stop. The hardest part for me was not being able to connect the dots in my mind. It was just, I knew what I wanted to say, but I just couldn't get a coherent sentence out of my mouth. For years, I was literally on dozens of drugs, but today I am drug-free and living a full and happy life. But I have to say before we start this teaching on healing that I need to make it clear that I'm not a doctor, I have no medical training. I'm not implying that you should stop taking any of your drugs. I'm not saying to stop any medical treatments. And if you do decide to do that, it's totally on you. You are responsible for your own decision. But what I can say is this. After trying prayer, drugs, and all kinds of natural foods and herbs, my wife knows how to make the worst tree bark. I mean, I drank and ate everything trying to get better. After trying all of those things, what I'm going to teach you today worked, and it worked fast for me. And now I can tell you that it has worked fast for tens of thousands of other people. And my hope is that after you learn and experience this information, and you see it actually working in your own body, you will pass it on to others. Now, let me begin this by speaking first to those of you who are religious, and then to those of you who are not. The Bible clearly and repeatedly says we are already healed. So if the Bible's true, then why are so many religious people still sick? Is God a liar or just powerless to heal you? Well, let me just make it perfectly clear that God is not a liar, nor is he impotent. So today we're going to learn why praying and asking God to heal you usually doesn't work. And then I'm going to teach you what to do to get it to work. Now, regardless of your beliefs, let me show you how you can change your physical body in 30 seconds. Now, there's no trick to this. You're not about to be hypnotized. And after we do this little exercise, I'm going to show you how modern science has proven what you're about to see happen to you. So the question is, how strong is your mind? Now, I'm not talking about your brain. I'm talking about your mind, okay? I know your mind is in your brain, but that's what we're talking about, your mind. You're literally going to have a major change in your physical body. So ready with me? Do this with me. Get up, get out of your chairs, get off your bed. If you sit in your chair and you're just watching me, this is not going to work. It's not a question of me telling you or you understanding it in your head. It's a question of your body physically doing what you want it to do. So you're going to see that in a second. So get up, come on. Get up out of your chairs. Let's go. Stand up. Okay, watch me now. 2 feet flat on the ground. Hands straight in front of you. Raise your thumb up so it's sort of like a gun sight. And I want you to look straight down your arm, okay, in your gun sight, and pretend as you turn that that's your gun sight. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is to turn as far as you possibly can. You don't have to do it with me yet. Just watch. Oh, man. Notice what I'm not doing. I'm not twisting. I'm not bending my arms. Keep your arms perfectly straight. Don't lift your feet. And turn as hard as you can. And look down your gun sight and push as hard as you can. Come on, as far as you can. And remember that sight. Remember exactly where in the room or the wall or whatever you hit. Remember that in your mind where you hit. Okay, so let's do that now. Put your hands out in front of you. Keep your feet firmly on the ground. Keep your elbows locked. and in either direction you turn. Turn as hard as you can, looking down your gun sight, and when you get to the very end, when you can't go any further, push harder so that you're really knowing you're going as far as you can. And find that spot and remember it on the wall or whatever. And when you did that, turn back around and relax, but don't move. Keep your feet on the ground. And now just listen to me. I'm going to ask you in a moment to close your eyes and see in your mind what you just did. Only this time, when you see yourself turning, I'm going to ask you in your mind to see yourself turning much further. Not like you got to the spot and you went an inch farther. I'm talking about in your mind. You turned and you went like that spot wasn't even there. You just kept going. You just went way past it. In other words, you're imagining this happening, okay? So I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes closed for 30 seconds. And after your eyes are closed for 30 seconds and you've imagined this, then we're going to open up our eyes again, and then I'll tell you what to do. So close your eyes. Imagine vividly and see yourself turning over and over, and you're way past the previous spot. Here goes the 30 seconds. Clearly in your mind, imagine it. Okay, now open your eyes. Now what I want you to do, again, put your hands out in front of you. Keep your arms locked, your elbows locked, feet on the ground, and turn as far as you can.
Wow. Wow. Whoa. Wow.
Now, if you did this correctly, you just proved to yourself that what you imagine, what you see in your mind, becomes reality in your physical body. You actually changed what your body can do just by changing what your mind believes. And your body literally obeys your mind. And the point is that if you can't see yourself healed and well and your pain gone, you won't be. So I'd like to just take a few moments here and talk about science and what modern science has learned about this and how it applies to you and how it applied to me. Now, positive and negative effects occur basically, because of what you're thinking. So proof that your mind produces these positive and negative effects, you just saw it, but let's talk about a scientifically controlled study. There's a randomized clinical drug trial where there was 270 patients involved. And their problem was they were trying to eliminate carpal tunnel, tendonitis, chronic pain in the elbow, shoulder, and wrist. And this is what happened to them. This is a real study. But you need to know that all of the 270, before they started the study, they were all warned about very specific and potential serious side effects so that they'd be aware of them. Well, half the subjects received pain pills, and the other half received acupuncture. 2 weeks in, about 90 of the people, that's about a third, complained of awful side effects. They began to call in saying they couldn't get out of bed, the pills were making them sluggish, the needles were causing them swelling and redness, and some of the patients said their pain just got so much worse. In effect, what was going on is the negative side effects, which they are, of course, were told about, was exactly what they, were experiencing. But the other 180, the other 2/3, they reported dramatic relief. And those who received acupuncture felt even better than those on the pain pills. Well, these were really exceptional findings. And the reason they were exceptional is because the pills were bogus. They were placebos made of cornstarch. And the acupuncture needles were retractable fakes. They never even pierced the skin. Well, in other studies done with placebos, but this time with Alzheimer's patients, the placebos didn't work either positively or negatively because the patients' minds couldn't process that they would, receive either benefits of negative or side effects, or they couldn't put it all together, so their mind didn't affect the outcome. Now, let's talk about some news also from science with regard to neuroscientific research, okay, has now confirmed, listen to this one, that you decide when you change a negative thought into a positive thought, your brain actually changes and sends out positive neurochemicals. These chemicals cause real physiological and psychological changes in your body. What? So your brain is causing actual changes in your body? Well, you just saw it happen. It's really all about, when you're sick, it's really all about how your mind interprets this life event. For example, when you decide to change your mind's interpretation, the way you see your illness, from fear, especially, let's take some difficult things. Let's just use what I had, which is cancer, leukemia. When you decide to change your mind's interpretation of illness from fear and you're in danger to hopeful and optimistic, which you may be sitting there, how can I be hopeful and optimistic? Well, here I am, over a decade later, supposedly be dead in 2 weeks, told that more than one time, and here I am. So you can be, hopeful and optimistic. What happens is your mind releases chemicals that activate your body's immune system. But if your mind becomes fearful and you have danger thoughts, your mind perceives this as a threat. And if your brain thinks you're about to be eaten by a lion, it's busy saying, "Run, Forrest, run." I mean, what point is there in sending immune cells to kill cancer or heal you if you're about to be eaten? So let me take it a little further. Nobel Prize winner Eric Kandel proved that your beliefs make positive or negative changes in your cells by switching groups of genes on or off. So when you say, like I used to say, okay, because everyone in my family, my father, my aunts, my uncles, everyone except my mother, everybody in my family died from something cardiovascular. So when you're saying it's in my genes, that may be true, but you are totally in control of changing your genes. Yes, your thoughts literally change the structure of matter. Believe it, it's not something I'm making up. It's something that is now proven scientifically. Your thoughts literally change the structure of matter. Now, if you want to do further research on this science, it's called epigenetics. And you can look that up on Google, and there's a ton of research that you can read on your own. So let's learn more in part 2.